Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. I wanted to talk about the recent dismissal of the head of Department of Veterans Affairs at the state level. Now, I'd love to get your comments, your thoughts on this. My initial thoughts, and I covered this actually a while ago as it was kind of bubbling up. Now it's official. And my kind of thought process here is states look at what other states do and so forth. And is this warranted? Is the course of action warranted? Were all the steps that took place prior to the dismissal, were you, as the governor, in a appropriate way to pull the plug on this specific head of the Department of Veterans Affairs at the state level? Or did the governor overstep the bounds? That's kind of the question. And look, I get it. We get a little snippet of what's going on. However, there's a lot of you in this state that might be able to shed a little light, if you will. So I'd love to see your comments. I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Every minute watched and every thumbs up helps to increase the reach. The more reach, the more awareness we have as a veteran sphere. And, being informed is a good thing. If you want to support the channel in other ways, consider being a member. Thank you so much to all you members. I truly appreciate you. All right, so let's jump into this. The headline, this has been popping up all over the place. And I'm just going to share one of them. There's multiple stories, and if you want to dig in more, there's plenty for you to find. This one's on military.com, and it just came out October 23rd, 2024, and I'm sharing it with you here today. Again, this has been an ordeal in the making and has been in process for, several months. So the headline here is Alabama Governor Dismisses Head of Department of Veterans Affairs after agency board refuses. That is an interesting twist to me because basically this ordeal has bubbled to the agency board, and the board said, I believe it was a 3-2 vote, 3 saying no, don't dismiss, and 2 said yes. And even though the board refused to do it, the governor took the leap and did it anyway. So let's go ahead and read into this and let's get your thoughts. So Governor Kay Ivey said Tuesday that she was using the supreme executive power of this state to fire the head of the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs after the agency board rejected her request to do so. So again, the question is this dictator avenue, or is this the person did so many egregious things that they just needed to be gone and the board is just oblivious, right? So let's move on. Ivey sent a letter to Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs Commissioner Kent Davis saying she was using her authority to immediately remove him from the position. Ivey's office hand-delivered the letter to Davis's lawyer soon after the State Board of Veterans Affairs in a 3-2 vote rejected Ivey's request to remove Davis. Davis had already agreed to vacate the post at the end of the year. So, just based on that, and I don't know much, here we are at the end of October, and the end of the year is, 2 months away with holidays in it. Is this just a power move? Is this just I'm going to do it because I can? I don't know. Look, I'm not in Alabama. I don't know, how the governor rolls, and I don't know much more than what was written about I believe it was reporting on some grant funding issues with the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs. So anyway, let's move on. So he already agreed to vacate the post at the end of the year. Moving on, the governor had accused Davis of failing to cooperate with her office and other agency heads and of misleading an American Rescue Plan grant program. Davis's supporters said no funds were mishandled. His attorney said the governor is retaliating after Davis filed an ethics complaint against the state mental health commissioner during the grant dispute. The complaint was later dismissed. Ivey wrote in a letter that the Alabama Constitution gives the governor the power to take action to enforce laws whenever needed because of inaction or inadequate action by a subordinate within the executive branch of government. There's a quotation here. For weeks now, I have laid out the case publicly for why new leadership at the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs is necessary, and it is unfortunate it came to forceful removing this agency head. Again, I'm just in the back of my mind is echoing, I already agree to leave by the end of the year. After what I would now deem as a total failure of leadership at the department and lack of cooperation, I had to use the mantle of the governor's office to make the change, Ivey said in a statement. John Saxon, an attorney representing Davis, questioned if Ivey has the authority to remove the commissioner and said they will look at that as they consider their next steps. Second, we will look seriously at whether we file a lawsuit under the anti-retaliation provision of the State Ethics Act. If we do, then we look forward with relish to taking the governor's disposition and seeing how she does under oath when she's unscripted, Saxon said. Saxon said the governor was upset over the ethics complaint and that the board did not agree to dismiss Davis. When the governor gets mad, she gets even, Saxon said. Ivey, in an October 18th letter to Davis, said the ethics complaint was frivolous and a weaponization of the dispute process. The dispute between Davis and Ivey began earlier this year. It appeared to be settled when Davis agreed to resign at the end of 2024. However, the dispute resurfaced when Ivey accused Davis of trying to manipulate board members. The governor called a special board meeting to vote on his immediate removal. The board narrowly rejected Ivey's request to remove Davis after a 90-minute discussion. 2 members abstained from the 3-2 vote. Davis, who at the time appeared to have beaten back the governor's effort to remove him, said that he was thankful to have the opportunity to answer questions. There's a quotation. It hurt deeply to be accused of things, Davis told reporters, so I'm very glad today we got to clear the air about some things. And that's where it ends. So, again, I personally am not in Alabama. I don't know how the governor works there. I don't have any sort of anything, really, to base any of these actions on. And quite frankly, I don't know much about Davis either. But I do understand the dynamic of the governor, department head, the commissioner of the Veterans Affairs Department for the state of Alabama. And based on this article, I'd love to get your thoughts on, does this sound like the governor just kind of, as the lawyer stated, when the governor gets mad, she gets even? Does that hold true? Or were the commissioner's actions so egregious that they couldn't wait 2 more months for him to actually just resign? That's the question, and I'd love to just get your thoughts. And here's, again, the reason why. Other states, look at what other states get away with, right? And, I just for what it's worth. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.